Hi everybody, welcome to the day. Today we've got kind of a skills day as well as a little bit of an output necessary for going hard day. It's a hard day, but it's a good day. So we got Monday, and the fully loaded and partially loaded, again, very similar, but we've got 4 muscle ups for the fully loaded, 8 strict handstand push-ups, 12 hang power snatch, and then you run 800 meters, and you do this every 10 minutes for 3 rounds. So you've got a time cap on it, so you got to be moving, which means you need to choose appropriate scales to where you don't get stuck. But at the same time, if you do not make it all the way through, you can always reset after the second round. The partially loaded version is going to have 4 dumbbell man makers, mainly because you won't have the rings for the muscle ups. 8 strict handstand push-ups, you can do those kipping, obviously scale back as necessary, and then 16 dumbbell hang power snatch. So from the hang position, jump, and with it overhead, run 800 meters. Now the reason that we jump up in the overall number of reps for the dumbbell alternating hang power snatch is just because the loading is obviously going to be lighter, unless you're swinging around a 95-pound dumbbell, which I don't suggest. Then you're going to run 800 meters, and you can do that every 10 minutes, kind of same sort of deal. For the unloaded version, we have 8 rotational planks. So watch the video for those. They're a little interesting. They kind of go through, it's like a kick sit, but you don't quite kick sit. You're going to do 8 strict handstand push-ups, 16 speed skaters, and then you're going to run 800 meters every 10 minutes. You perform this, go for 3 rounds of this. Again, try to find something in your house that you could do something like a dumbbell hang power snatch with or a dumbbell man maker with, even if it's like a jug of milk and you're doing this, maybe not a full jug of milk, maybe it'd have to be like with a handle and a screw-on cap, and it's not milk that's used. I don't know, make it water, but ideally you're going to be doing some sort of a loading for this. If you can't, that's totally fine. You can do the unloaded version, but this is a good day to find an object and maybe do the dumbbell alternating hang power snatch with, even a backpack or a sandbag or something that you have around the house. If not, again, totally okay. Now with each one of these, there's different ways we can scale it. So the muscle ups, we can always scale back to something like a seated muscle up, a feet on a box. You can do just muscle up transitions to a press out. There's many options that hopefully your coach has helped you with throughout the times you've been in the gym. If you've never done them, today is not the day to just go ahead and learn those. With the handstand push-ups, you can always do a pike push-up or a seated press or a feet elevated on an object handstand push-up. There's many ways that we can pull that one back. Hang power snatch. That can be done with lighter load, so you can always scale that back in order to meet that. And the 800 meter can always be pulled back in distance. Now, if 800 meter is what you're not good at, my suggestion is not pulling back the distance, but making sure that the other stuff you can get done with really quickly and give you enough time to do that 800 meters. 800 meters is a decent chunk of time for a lot of people, and when you've only got a 10-minute time frame to perform that whole thing, especially if that's not your jam, I'd like you to make it your jam today. Make it your thing that you're kind of looking to achieve with the best of your ability. For the partially loaded version, dumbbell man makers, that can always be pulled back and load. The handstand push-up, same sort of deal. It can be kipping, it can be feet on a couch, it can be pike handstand push-up. There's a lot of options there. Dumbbell hang power snatch, that can be a lighter load, and then the distance can be shortened there. The unloaded for the rotational planks can be done on your knees as well, just kind of more of an open, come back, or it can just be a plank hold for a period of time. So 8 shouldn't take you longer than a minute, so you should probably just maybe do a plank hold for a minute or figure out how to do that. The strict handstand push-ups can be a pike push-up, it can be a box push-up, again, kind of went over those. Speed skaters, you can always just not jump quite as far or go as aggressively. Remember, with speed skaters, you want to warm up quite a bit before you get into the speed skater, just so that the knees are ready for that jumping side to side, that lateral movement that we don't normally do. And then run 800 meters. You can always pull back the distance. Now in all of these, we're just kind of looking to make sure that we're finishing with a little bit of time to rest. If you figure that like an 800 meter run is something that should take about 4 minutes or less, that's a pretty good clip on a run. If you don't have the ability to run, you can always sub it out for something like high knees for a period of time, or butt kickers, or run in place, or jog in place, or 800 steps in place. There's definitely ways you can make that happen, or a 10-meter liners back and forth. That's a different stimulus as well. But we need to get that done in like a 4 to 5 minute time frame, which will give you about 3 to 4 minutes to do the other stuff. And with the lower volume on those 4, 8, and 12, they are higher skill movements, but you shouldn't be choosing skill movements that are so hard that you're having to do singles of maybe every single one. The only thing that might be appropriate with is something like the muscle up. The handstand push-ups should not be like that. It should be done in maybe 2 sets, nothing too crazy. Other than that, just make sure you're choosing appropriate scales for the day, and make sure you're getting this all done with at least like 2 minutes rest. You want to rest in between rounds because it's going to compound on itself for round 2 and round 3. So round 1, maybe getting 3 minutes rest, round 2, getting 2 minutes rest, and round 3, you're just surviving and just doing what you can. If for some reason you don't get back in time and you tap out for the next round, just pause, take a 2 minutes rest, and then go into the next one. And then decrease the total distance on the run, or decrease the total number of reps on something, or decrease the difficulty on something. We don't want to make it so you're going over 10 minutes each round. That would be a mistake in the scaling of it. Text your coach, ask your coach exactly where you should scale. But for now, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into the warm-up. All right, let's start this off with 10 alternating supine plank leg raises. These are actually super hard. We're gonna pick a spot on the ground right here, and we're gonna put our feet off to the left of it, or the right, depending on, it doesn't really matter. And then we're gonna just lift them up and touch them over to one side, and then go back. Oh, that's 1. Here we go. That's 2. That's 3. Yep. That's 4. Yep. That's 5. You can't do it with your legs straight out. You can bend your knees and then lean back a bit more, and just touch the feet on either side. But we're trying to get them with straight out if possible. Support yourself with your hands if you need a little bit more. So here we go. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Woo! Now we're gonna do 10 sit-up to pikes. Those things get my hip flexors going. So we're gonna do sit-up to pike. So feet straight out. You're gonna sit back down, touch your hands to the ground, sit up, and give it a little reach forward. That's 1. Let's do 9 more. 2. 3. 4. I always scoot backwards. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. We'll do 1 more. Just because I don't remember where we started. And 10. There we go. Now we're going to sit up to straddle. So widen up the squat, or the squat. Widen up this position here. So nice and as wide as you can go. Sit up and reach forward. Now if you're flexy, you might be able to touch your chest to the ground. I am not flexy. This is as far as I got. So we're going to do 9 more of those. That's 1. 2. I should probably get flex here. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Yeah, bye-bye. 10. Woo! All right. Now we're gonna do 5 downward dog, or inchworm to downward dogs. So we're gonna start standing. Put our hands on the ground. Walk our hands out. Walk it out of the inchworm. Then push your hips back into the downward dog. And then scoop a doop all the way down. Cobra. Again, always optional to hiss at the bottom. Push the hips back. Walk the hands back. Stand up. Say namaste. You don't have to say that. That's 1. Here we go. Down. All the way out. Inchworm to downward dog to cobra. And then hips back. Walk the hands back up. That's 2. 3 more. Walk it out. Downward dog. Cobra. Hips back. And then walk the hands back up. 3. 2 more. Walk it out. Stretch. Hips back. Cobra. Hips back. Walk the hands back up. Last one. Here we go. Hands down. Walk it out. Boom, boom, boom. Downward dog. back, walk it back up. All right, that's 5. Let's do one more round of that, and go. Just lift them up and touch them over to one side, and then go back. Oh, that's 1. Here we go. That's 2. That's 3. Yep. That's 4. Yep. That's 5. You can't do it with your legs straight out. You can bend your knees and then lean back a bit more and just touch the feet on either side. But we're trying to get them with straight out if possible. Support yourself with your hands if you need a little bit more. So here we go. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Woo! Now we're gonna do 10 sit-up to pikes. Those things get my hip flexors going. So we're gonna do sit-up to pike. So feet straight out. You're gonna sit back down, touch your hands to the ground, sit up, and give it a little reach forward. That's 1. Let's do 9 more. 2. 3. 4. I always scoot backwards. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. We'll do one more. Just because I don't remember where we started. And 10. There we go. Now we're going to sit up to straddle. So widen up the squat, or the squat. Widen up this position here. So nice and as wide as you can go. Sit up and reach forward. Now if you're flexy, you might be able to touch your chest to the ground. I am not flexy. This is as far as I got. So we're going to do 9 more of those. That's 1. 2. I should probably get flex here. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Yeah, bye-bye. 10. Woo! All right. Now we're going to do 5 downward dog, or inchworm to downward dogs. So we're going to start standing. Put our hands on the ground. Walk our hands out. Walk it out of the inchworm. Then push your hips back into the downward dog. And then scoop a doop all the way down. Cobra. Again, always optional to hiss at the bottom. Push the hips back. Walk the hands back. Stand up. Say namaste. You don't have to say that. That's 1. Here we go. Down. All the way out. Inchworm to downward dog to cobra. And then hips back. Walk the hands back up. That's 2. 3 more. Walk it out. Downward dog. Cobra. Hips back. And then walk the hands back up. 3. 2 more. Walk it out. Stretch. Hips back. Cobra. Hips back. Walk the hands back up. Last one. Here we go. Hands down. Walk it out. Boom, boom, boom. Downward dog. Cobra. Hips back. Walk it back up. All right. That's 5. All right, now we're gonna move into some of the more specific stuff for the workout. So depending on what scale you're doing slightly different things, but essentially we're gonna be running. So I'm doing some kipping swings on the rings, some strict handstand push-ups, some lowers, some hang power snatches, and we're just gonna work through, always start at the lighter load, move to the heavier stuff. You guys have all the information here, but I really suggest reaching out to your coaches. So coaches should have sent you what the warm-up's going to be, or whatever system they're using. They're gonna be coaching you through it. If you have questions about it, text your coach, send them a video. Now's the time to connect and get that more specific stuff, specific to what you're going to be doing for your workout, going now. And good luck, enjoy it. It's gonna be a fun one. If you have any questions about the actual workout, go back to the beginning of the vid and watch the breakdown there.